Hey Rebecca, first of all let me thank you for coming in on your vacation. We really appreciate it. We've had a lot of questions about the new compensation packages for our units. I'm sure you've had some questions as well.
I have.
So let's see if we can answer at least some of them right now.
Sure.
Okay, so I'd like to start by talking about our classified unit and the package they receive.
I think something first that we might want to clarify is who exactly belongs in that classified unit. We've gotten some questions on Facebook and via email and phone.
All right, well, our classified unit, we used to say they're our non-instructional staff, but now with our new ProTech unit, it's not quite so clear cut. But our classified unit is made up of our clerks, our behavior techs, our paraprofessionals, those kinds of positions. And if you've been in the union for more than a year, you're probably in the classified unit if you're not instructional. So that would be who that group is. Okay. So for our classified unit, the package that we negotiated, and we're actually pretty pleased with it, it's probably the largest single increase, certainly for 3 years I know, but I think it's the biggest increase for as long as I've been negotiating. We've always hovered right around 2%. The total package is worth about 5.9%. It includes a step for all of our classified unit members and then a 3.5% across the board increase.
So what if somebody is already at the top of their salary schedule and is stepped out?
So for those at the top of the salary schedule, and this actually was a topic of discussion at negotiations, for those at the top, we'll be adding a 2% step, and then on top of that, a 3.5% increase for those members. So nobody's actually stepped out in our classified unit this year. Okay, so
Hey guys!
hey Lucy, how's it going?
I hear you guys talking about CU negotiations. Went
We are.
well, huh?
It did.
They went very well.
That's
actually.
awesome. So, did we talk about ProTech? Did we get anything for them?
We did talk about ProTech. In fact, we're quite pleased. We got our first LOU regarding compensation for the new unit.
That's awesome.
And so we're really very pleased about that. And for our ProTech members, they'll be seeing a step on their pay scales, as well as 3.5% across the board increase. And again, nobody in ProTech is going to be stepped out this year. If they're at the top of their pay scales, they'll get a 2% step, and then 3.5% increase on top of that.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. I'm glad they were able to get something out of this also right at the beginning.
Well, of course, they're our members now, so we take care of them too.
Glad
Great.
you asked.
Yep, thanks.
No problem, Lucy.
You want to talk a little bit about CTA now?
I do want to talk about CTA.
Okay. So I know one of the things that we negotiated was the retention supplement, again from last year, to be made permanent. For anybody that was here at least half of the year or more should see that again, and that will become permanent salary for them. We also negotiated the pay for performance and the grandfathered schedules. The effective teachers and grandfathered in will see that $50 increase, and anybody that was rated highly effective will see an increase of $75. And do you want to say a little bit something about the base salary adjustment?
I do. The base salary adjustment is going to be the interesting part of this. So in addition to the $850 retention for those teachers who are eligible, that would be again people who were here at least half of last year, they're going to see an adjustment to their base. And the base is the slot that they came in on. For most of our teachers, anybody in slot B and above, we'll see a $650 base increase, because for starting teachers, we're increasing those bases that much. And so we want our teachers to see the same as if they were hired this year. Where it's going to be a little tricky is for those members who are in slot A. So for those teachers coming into slot A, or those teachers who were hired into slot A, remember, if you remember, those were all together.
Yes.
Okay, that was that 0 to 5 group that all saw the same increase. We want to stretch that out a little bit. We want to differentiate based on experience when they're hired. This year it's a modest difference, but it's really the start of the process. Okay, so for our teachers who are either coming in with no experience or who were hired with no experience, they'll see a $615 increase, because we're increasing the base $615. So that keeps our current teachers in sync with those hired this year. For those who have 1 year of experience or were hired with 1 year of experience, it'll be $625. 3 years of experience will be $635. 3 years will be $640. 4 years will be $645, and 5 years will be $650. There's a couple reasons we did it that way. One of the big reasons is because neither the district nor the union wanted to have teachers who have been here for a couple of years see a big difference in the increase that they're going to receive this year. And the second is, frankly, we didn't have enough money to both do what we need to do for our current members and change that slot A. So hopefully this will be a several-year project, and we'll work the differentiation in that way. So all of this compensation that we're talking about, remember it's annual, so you won't see $650 in a check. It's actually part of your salary. You'll see it over all of your checks. One other thing I want to touch on before we talk about insurance, and you mentioned it, is part of what we negotiated this year was for everything that people received last year that was a temporary supplement for the year, has been made a permanent part of their salary.
Across all bargaining units.
Across all of our bargaining units. So whatever they received last year as a supplement will now be permanent. And so that was the financial part of what we negotiated. And then there's everybody's favorite, insurance. Something that is really something that we have to deal with every year. If you recall, Florida Blue came back with a initial increase for the year of 24%.
And really, on both sides of the table, that was something that neither one of the groups could really wrap their heads around.
The district, this is a retention recruitment issue for them as well. I mean, they really want insurance to be affordable. We don't always agree on everything, but we certainly, I think this is a concern that we share with the district. And so 24% was really untenable. There was no way around that. And so we sent the insurance out to bid. This year we had 2 companies come back and answer the bid, and Florida Blue was still the best of the 2, and they came in with a 16.5% increase as part of their bid process. We managed through discussions and really some hard decisions. We got that down to 9.92%, so we got it under 10% for the increase, with really very, very modest changes to the plans. There are some changes, but with modest changes to the plans. And so one of the things that happened was that the district increased their contribution to our insurance.
That was the second year in a row that we've negotiated that increase.
It is. It's the second year in a row. So we got an increase to that last year, and again, the district agreed this year. So they went from $6,300 to $6,570.
And if I remember correctly, that increase equals about 1/2 of the projected increase for the individual 5180 plan.
Correct. I mean, everybody will see the increase, but it was based off of half of the increase for that 5180, which is really a good thing that the district has decided to shoulder some of that burden with the employees, so it doesn't all fall on our members' backs. Still not perfect. Perfect would be no increase at all, and we look at options every year, from self-insurance to sending it out to bid, whatever we can do to try and get those premiums to be reasonable.
So all in all, I mean, we're sitting here on July 1st, looking pretty good moving into the next school year as far as negotiations are concerned. So what do our members need to know before this actually goes into effect?
Well, we're hoping that it will be paid on the first paycheck, but one of the very important things that has to happen is our members have to ratify this. And so we're planning a ratification vote for that very first week back. They should be watching their emails, our Facebook and our website for information about that. It's like the ratification we did last year. I think it was in December, but because we managed to settle now, we want to do it right away so that members can start seeing this increase in their paychecks right away.
And in this situation, when we're talking about members, we're talking about all of the members of the bargaining unit.
Correct. That's a good point. For compensation in the contract, anybody who's in the bargaining unit, whether they're dues paying member or not, gets to vote on ratification of this. Okay.
Very good.
All right. So that's a start, and I'd encourage members, if they have additional questions, to go ahead and email them in, and we'll do our best to answer them. And thanks for your support, everybody. Have a great summer.